Daggy Beaver with you. Show us your tips. Looking forward to a massive smorgasbord of sport and racing this weekend. 3 days of Group 1 racing, AFL Grand Final, NRL prelim finals, semi-finals, whatever they are. Semi-finals. And we're back in Studio B now, Beaver, the first time in a while.
Yes, perfect. It's good to be out in the fresh air with you, Daggy, and talking racing and all that type of stuff. And, it's a good weekend.
Yeah, absolute cracker. First things first, though, I'll get your AFL Grand Final tip for those interested.
My head says Geelong, my heart says Swans. So I'm a giant supporter, but I do like the Swans being from Sydney. So I'm going to barrack for the Swans, and I'll tip the Swans because that's who I'm going for.
Beautiful. And what about the NRL? We've got South and Penrith and South, which is a cracker. It's shaping up really well. And Cam, what have we got?
Cowboys and Para.
Cowboys and Para. I'm going to talk about it in an hour's time. Yeah. Any thoughts on those?
Yeah, pretty confident in the rugby league, mate. I think the Panthers will be winning, being the best team all year, and I think they'll stamp their authority there. And Cowboys as well. Impressive year. Para hard to catch, and Cowboys up at home, super hard to beat. So I think they've got pretty solid across the park.
Both crackers. But Penrith, obviously the benchmark. So the South can beat them, I think, but Penrith the benchmark, and Cowboys just feel like your standard grand final team, don't they?
Yeah,
someone there to get beat.
I think both those teams will win comfortably, actually, on the weekend.
Anyway, it is Pro Group Racing, so let's talk racing. Check out progroupracing.com.au and subscribe to their mailing list for our show twice a week in your inbox, as well as all the news going on, and plenty of offers and other stuff going on, as well as twice a week getting our tips in written form as well.
Midweek tips, and Beaver just tipped the first winner
of the day. And we just watched, who was it, winning at Hawkesbury?
Win the third at Hawkesbury.
At a backable price too.
So if you checked Pro Group Racing today and got our article, you'd be back to first $3.30 winner.
Lovely. Let's hope there's some more winners when we head to Moonee Valley, though, tomorrow night, where the track is soft. I believe the worst of the rain has passed down there.
Soft 7?
Soft 7. Some drizzle around Friday, but should nearly get to dead, I'm thinking. Rails true. Like always under lights, you want to see them making ground first, but it should play fair by all measures. We kick off with a very good race, the Aspect Kitchens Plate, over 1,200 metres for the 3-year-olds. And how are you going to kick off the day?
Yeah, mate, I'm going to go for number 10 here, Custodian. Thought it was very good first up from a spell. Jumped on the pace and ran away with it at Sale. Comes here to Moonee Valley now. Was pretty short in the market there, and the field was okay. So I think it can jump on the pace again here and be hard to catch around the $6.50 mark. Custodian on top for me.
Yeah, I struggled a little bit to get my head around this race with 6 last start winners, but I've ended up sticking with El Padrino on top, actually. Was outside lead first up in a good race there. Fast Witness has since come out and won again. And I think was at the race, and a couple other winners have come through the race. Charlemagne won it, and then ran well again since. And just drawn to get a nice run behind the speed there for Jamie Carr, and might have a sniper's shot, like we've touched on with Custodian, and a couple at big odds. There's some nice lightly raced ones here that can, if you're looking for something really outside the market, the Real Thing and Oceans Above were both nice debuts, have both trialled well since, and they seem like the sort of ones, if it's real Swoopers Valley, which generally happens later in the night, admittedly, will give you a show at 20s running down the middle of the track late. So, good race.
And Eponymous from the Wallace stable at about 20s. It finished off really nicely last start as well.
Yeah, over-raced, and that was through the Cinderella Days form up there in Sydney. Yeah. So, good race to start the day. Not sure if it gets much easier. We've got the 1,200 metres for the fillies this time, a Group 3. We've seen a lot of these now, but this is another very good race, Beaver. I turned this upside down. Track pattern will pay a little bit here, but I'm going to go with Queen of the Ball on top. It's about $7.50. Last I checked, it was finished a length off some good stuff in Sydney there through Zugotcha, who's since won again, North Star Lass, and In Secret, who's be starting favourite in the Golden Rose on the weekend. Blake Shin goes on board and just drawn for a really nice run. I think it's going to be a nice each-way bet. Choach is flying. Where it gets to in the run's probably my main concern here, but Craig Williams should be able to get it into the running line. And I've always had an opinion of English Riviera, as everyone that follows the show knows. Not quite sure 1,200 metres suits, but if it is on pace at the Valley, it will be hopefully across on the rails and give you a sight. But I'm I'm keen to play each way around the 2 and the 4 there. What were your thoughts?
I've gone for English Riviera here. First up was outstanding. I thought it was still a good run last start down the straight. Not sure. I think it might prefer the bend a little bit better, but was only a length off Nanagui and showed pace there. Gets J-Mac. That's worth a length for me. Drawn 5, I think he can push forward and sort of hopefully control the race here. So
Is 1,200 metres a concern or less so at the Valley?
I think less so at the Valley.
Yeah.
Down the straight probably, but less so here around a bend.
Yep.
So time will tell. If your horse can't run 1,200, it's not much of a horse.
J-Mac's a big fish in this meeting, isn't he? There's a lot of horses that he's jumping on that
Yep.
you have to have another look at. The 1,200 metre benchmark 84 comes up next, where Clemenceau is starting favourite in a deep field. Is that the way you're looking?
No, it's not. Oh, sorry, I skipped over to race 4. Sorry, Dave.
Right.
Yes, it was. Clemenceau was the way I was looking. You had me confused there for a second. Clear on top for me here. I think it's, again, it's drawn well. Very good first up. A lot to like about its run at Rosehill behind Remark, who's a good horse. Comes back to the Valley here. This sets up well. Has won at the track and distance here. Clearly on top here for me.
Yeah, the big field and where he got to is probably my only concern, but I've got a bit of trust there in that John McNeil will do the right thing. And this is a very winnable race, almost half a drop in grade here. I thought the Danger, who's just outside the market, was Sharp Response. Honest little horse who went through some good stuffs last prep.
Yep.
Lost a good race on protest, then was solid again. Has trialled well for this and is $12. Might have more upside than a lot of these. Clemenceau very hard to beat there.
I think that's right, but I was a bit concerned about the gate.
Yeah,
the Sharp Response 12.
And being first up, I assume goes back.
It goes back.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought the inside gate Zethus could be a bit of a knockout chance from the Cummings stable.
Who's trialled well in trials we'll talk about later on, actually. Race 4, the Stut Stakes Group 3 for Group 2 for the 3-year-olds over the mile. And I like one at a price here. I've got Virtuous Circle on top. I thought it was a nice win. I know it had the inside run there, but throughout the day, swoopers were in play there. Gets J-Mac, is double figures, and the form through that race has been very strong. That was the Prosemian Arch race, who unfortunately didn't live up to some hype last week from us. But Castilian's won out that race. The Forsman horse has gone to Flemington and won the Derby trial, Mr. Maestro. And I think there's another winner through there, but it's all strong form in his double figures. Tijuana's bursting to win one of these races. You can tie that form together through Berkeley Square, who I think's probably going to start favourite in the Guineas, and has been good in both runs. And there's other bits and pieces here. Miramasa might be talented, but is also in at Mornington on Saturday. And I might even have something very small on the Savabeel at hundreds down the bottom there, who got lost in debut, but Waikato spread and Paulie Pruska at hundreds in a mile race. Yeah, it's just something to say so I can cut a promo if it wins.
Yes, very good. Nice try. I've gone for Fujita San. I think third up here. I think this now gets it's ready to produce its best. Its first 2 runs have been okay. It was given no chance first up against Fast Witness when well in the market, only 2 lengths behind him at the Valley. When just got out of its ground, it was a leader's track. And then I thought last start, it stuck on okay behind Berkeley Square, only beat a couple of lengths. I think it can get a better run here and be suited at the Valley here. This, I think, is a very winnable race for it, and I think it's right to go. So around the $6 mark, I think Fujita San's hard to beat. And the other horse that I've got a bit of a liking for is Fairy Spirit. I tipped it to win today at Pakenham, I think it was.
Okay.
And looks like it must have been scratched and held for this. I haven't checked the scratchings today, but around the $10 mark could run well.
Excellent. The 955, the first of the 955s for the year, benchmark 84 sprint here. We saw Asfoora, very impressive for us a couple of weeks back, comes to town in a winnable race. Do you like it?
Yeah, I do actually. That was an outstanding win.
This feels like they've set the bar low. I was thinking it goes. I would almost give it a chance in the Moir.
Yeah.
I know it's a bit mad to say, but better than this, isn't it?
I think so. 955. It's a short shorter sprint for it, but what was it last start? It was over the 1,000, so that's okay. But it had the right. But gate 3, I think, can just get in the running line and produce that sprint. That was a real good turn of foot last start against what I think is a decent horse, Galenas, which is also in this race. So look, they'll be doing well to beat Asfoora, that's for sure.
Well, there's a couple here. You mentioned Galenas. When I first picked up this field, I thought I'll just be stamping this a complete good thing. But Rose Quart's a nice horse as well, and some very good Saturday form there. But I've got Asfoora on top from Rose Quart's, and front bar, who's come over from Perth, is a little nippy thing that could just zoom around the valley here and give you a bit of a side if you're looking away from the favourite. But I'm pretty keen it's going to run well here, Asfoora. I think it's on to better things from here. The JRA Cup, a time-honoured non-conformist, has been scratched from this. Just looking at now, Group 3.
Yeah, I'm disappointed.
2040. Yeah, it was half a chance here.
Oh, good chance.
Who do you like then? Who's left?
Who's left? It makes it really hard, doesn't it? With that coming out, I'm going to go for Desert Icon. Bounced back last start. I think it loves the valley. Won over this course and distance last start. It had the perfect run, but I see it probably getting a similar run here from the 5 gate, where it can just take up a prominent position, if not lead, sit behind the leaders. It'll dart on the turn and they'll have to run it down. So I think that works really well for it. The favourite Great House will probably get back and try and produce its finish. Second up, bit of a concern. So Desert Icon on top.
I'm sticking with Macro. I got it at a price last time after Cardiac Arrhythmia first up. But that one with all honours there, I know I'm taking on the fast-finishing Waller and J-Mac combination there, who came through that same race, but is poised to get run of the race here. I think gets pretty close to sitting Desert Icon's back, and Desert Icon's best hope is to just get a complete walk-up in front here. There's a lot of has-beens in this race, for lack of a better term, and it's an up-and-comer, so happy to be with it. And the 2 Wallers are the obvious dangers. J-Mac probably rides 4 winners tomorrow night, and just to annoy me, but Macro on top for me. The Group 1 Moir Stakes is the first Melbourne night Group 1 of the year. Wild Ruler won it last year. Before that, Pippi. It's been won by Nature Strip. Buffering won it 3 times, and Black Caviar. So not a bad honour roll there. 1,000 metres, weight for age. Who do you like?
Good race.
Very good race.
Yeah, I like it. It's a good race, and a lot of these horses.
It's not quite Everest good, but it's very good.
A lot of good horses, but a lot of really even horses in this. There's 6, 7, 8 horses here that I almost think you could run this a number of times, and if they draw differently, you get a different result. I kind of narrowed it down. I went for Rothfire to win again. And the main reason is obviously bounce back after last start, but it got the perfect run. But I think that might happen again here from gate 5. I think it might just sit off the pace. Coolangatta is probably going to have to go through to lead again from the inside gate, because I think if it gets crossed,
it can't win if it doesn't. I don't think
it doesn't. Generation's probably going to push forward.
Malkovich style.
Malkovich going to push forward as well, so there's going to be a bit of pace on here. So I think it sets up for Rothfire just to roll off their back around the turn and be super hard to beat. Generation was a good run last start, so it may fight on really well. The other horse I haven't ruled out at a price is the Inferno. It was good first up, coming from back in the field in a track that really didn't suit horses from coming back, and was only 2 lengths off him. And at one stage I thought it was really going to be in it. But just the pace up front didn't allow it to be. If there's pace on and you can come from back and they swoop, he'll be flying home the fastest of these.
I'm treating this as a swoopers race just because of the amount of pace, which left me looking for 2. Blue colours, I'm with them. I've been with them last week, which is good. Paulie resumes here, gets J-Mac, has trialled well enough, should be stalking, and will find the right time to make a run here. He's got 4, finished first up last time, was finishing alongside the likes of Nature Strip, and then challenged Marzu up in Sydney. I'm saying that's the absolute A+ sprinters, and this is a nice resuming point. And Bella Nipotina is flying. The trials are fantastic. One with plenty up its sleeve and is $14 in a swoopers race. I'm giving it a nice chance. Craig Williams has stuck with it over a couple others here.
It is a horse that I do back quite often, don't you?
So this might be a chance for a Group 1, and around the $14 is.
And it does
good.
like the Valley.
Yeah, that's right. I think this would be its goal for the prep, and I'm keen to be with it. Rothfire, like you said, had the perfect run, but just was real strong. Phil, it was good to see. It was almost like the old Rothfire there. Didn't gas out like it had for the couple of rehab runs, and I think if it's back, he's a serious horse. So great race. I'm with Paulie Lee and Bella Nipotina. And we're going to wrap it up with the stock stakes, in fact, for the girls over the mile, a group weight for age group 2, where I'm sticking with the lead-up form. Kiss on All for Cheeks was good, winning with a little bit in hand there. Unfortunately, I was on yearning for lots. But I think Meets the Same Field here should get a nice run if the track's playing fair and be very hard to beat. If it's not, I can see Lady of Honour starting favourite and probably winning if the rail's red hot here. They're the main two. Foxy Frida will run well again, but a pretty easy race to read for me as long as everything being equal. I think it's a nice bet. Also has to get around the valley for the first time for what looks a big stride and sort of written tycoon, but we'll see what that brings there. Beaver, who do you like?
Yeah, I think you've summed it up pretty good there. I've gone for Kiss on All Four Cheeks as well. I think the extra 200 really suits and plays into it. I think, as you say, if they can swoop here, it'll be set up for it. Lady of Honour will have to come across and be used up a little bit early. Don't know if anything challenges it or it just gets across. But you're right, if it's a front runner's track and it's should be the Lady of Honour will get plenty of support. But yeah, for number one for me, Kiss on All Four Cheeks.
Lovely. Do you want to give us you've got the Friday night quaddie this time?
Yep.
Do you want to work through that?
I will work through that, mate. My selections are number 5, Galenas. Number 6, The Front Bar. Number 7, Rose Quartz. Number 8, Asfoora. In the next race, I've gone number 4, Great House. Number 7, Macram. Number 8, Desert Icon. And number 11, Predeterm. In the next leg, I have gone number 1, The Inferno.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, Pulleel. Number 3, Rothfire. Number 12, Coolangatta. And number 8, September Run.
No Bella.
No Bella.
Okay.
Just don't like the barrier.
Yep.
And to finish in the last race, I've gone number 1, Kiss on All Four Cheeks, and number 10, Lady of Honour.
Beautiful. Just quickly on your Rothfires of the world, haven't the Queensland horses been overperforming?
Yeah, they've done well, haven't they?
In both Sydney and Melbourne.
Shooting Gold one and...
well, those two have run well. Rothfire and Zeus Style both run well.
Style, what's
Unfortunately, we lost old mate Jack. I can't think of his first name. Got injured. Would have started close to favourite. Scalapini won. Who was the one that got injured? I don't know. I'm talking about an injured horse. The good one.
Incentivise?
No. He's a Queenslander as well. No, came through the Eagle Farm stuff and then won the 1,200 metres and brained him. And then got injured before the Rupert Clark.
Oh, yes.
Something, Jack.
Yes. Uncommon James.
That's James, yeah, close enough. His brother, Jack. Glad we spent 45 seconds worrying about horses we won't see again.
Don't be like that.
Well, you might be back in autumn. For progretracing.com.au, what are we doing? A show, that's right. Our best and value. I'll go with race 5, number 8, Asfoora as my best. I'm going to back it in. And my value, race 4, number 8, Virtuous Circle as my value. Beaver, yourself?
Yeah, I'm going to go race 5, number 8, Asfoora as my best bet. And my value bet, I was going to go in the bloody same race as you, but now
go on. No,
I was going to have Foujita San, race 4, number 7.
Yeah, stick to your guns. That's fine.
Stick to my guns. Let's go head-to-head with you then.
Done. Sounds good on a good little Friday night card there. Alrighty, we head to Rosehill for Golden Rose Day next, which is currently on a soft 5. Not a heap of rain around in Western Sydney, just constant drizzle. I think it stays about that range. I don't think it's going to get any worse.
Yeah, it depends what comes this afternoon, I think, and a little bit maybe more tomorrow. So hopefully it holds and you don't get much worse than a soft maybe 6.
How'd you go with this card?
Yeah, it was tricky, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, really difficult card. Some interesting races first up in the first few races, which is always tricky with the highways, midways, and then lots of chances later in the day and mixed form.
Yeah, there's a couple that just spat the dummy, but we'll get to them.
Beautiful. Love to hear it.
Yeah, we kick off with the 1,500 metres highway, Class 2. Too good for me, this race, but did you find anything here?
Too good for me as well. Let this one through. There's not many horses here that have even winning form. A couple that have been in and around the places, but way too hard with 20 in it, 23 in it. Couple of scratchings. Too hard for me.
And I think we've lost Nash for the day. I don't think Bowman's riding, so there's looked a bit short on jockeys, some of these races too, actually, which we'll get to as well. But the midway's up next, 1,300 metres. I should mention the rail is true, so I'm hoping plays fair enough throughout the day, perhaps even running line. But we get to the second, which is the midway. Anything here?
Unfortunately, I couldn't find too much here. If I was forced to have a pick, I'd just go for the winning form of Oakfield Duke. It's been going good.
I ended up just putting Cruel Summer on top. I think it's trialled up well for this again. It's got some real good form. Especially on rain-affected tracks last prep, matched Montefelicity, who's gone on to perhaps better things since then. Before that, just was nabbed by Essione, who's a decent metro horse as well. And his double figures was $15 when I did the form. I think can give you a nice sight. And Verbeek was dragged back last time and flashed home. A better gate, hoping can sit a bit closer. And again, double figures. Blake Shin, hoping can give you a bit of a sight, but tricky race here. I'm sure, the old-fashioned, if they run this 10 times, there'll be 10 different winners, but so I'm going at 2 at double-figure odds there.
Yeah, good one.
1,900-metre benchmark 88 is up next, and very interested to know what you do with this one, Beaver.
Yeah, interesting race here. I thought this was a pretty decent race.
It's a good race.
Some horses are going well, and some horses.
Well, there's some in this race that I would have
backed.
backed in the whatever the race is later in the day, the Colin Stevenson or whatever it is.
Yeah. So plenty of chances here, some winning form as well. Look, I did settle on Wicklow. I went back and watched a few replays
I
here,
did too.
And I thought Wicklow's last start was pretty good. Come up the inside, was well back in the field and finished off and hit the line really, really hard. I think it's probably just got the class edge here. J-Mac aboard. I think it was running over him over the 1,600. Nearly fell. Gets the extra 300 here. J-Mac aboard. I really like Wicklow, but plenty of chances here. Kiss the Bride is flying, gets the 3 kilo claim and just keeps finding. And, it won't be worried about the extra distance as well. They kind of, Grace and Harmony loomed up last start, but Kiss the Bride just found another gear. It'll be hard to beat as well, but Hammer On goes well and improving every start, and Alcione isn't without ability.
I've got Wicklow on top, and the more I've thought about this, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
It gets J-Mac as well, but nearly fell coming over heels last time. Regathered and probably, all things being equal, would have won that race and would be half the price. And J-Mac's a big plus. Inside barrier, a big plus. It should be able to. J-Mac's not going to snag back here. He's going to be right up on leaders back. And if it gets a nice enough run, we'll sprint away from these. Alcione, same thing. Inside gate, I think it's made danger and was the one coming home with Wicklow in that race. And you've got to respect Kiss the Bride. He said it has won the last 2 up in distance suits, and any rail favours, it will be in its favour. But I think the 360 is a good price here for Wicklow. Colin Stephen Quality is up next, a 2,400 metre Group 3. Talk about spitting the dummy here. Cadre Noir's on top, 1 by 5 last time, gets J-Mac. And we'll roll forward and lead in an awful race that I don't want to talk about any further. I think it's I'm probably going to make it my best of the day out of spite here, so it'll get beat. But on top for me, Beaver.
Yeah, I've got it the same on top. Look, this is not a lot of depth to this race. There's only 7 starters with the scratching, and most of these are going. There's a couple down the bottom going like a busted, and probably a couple in the market just because there's no other horses in the race. Yeah. I'm actually surprised $2.15. At $2.15, it's almost the value better.
Yeah, I know.
It should be $1.75.
The reason you just can't trust these stayers when they go round and round like you.
Well, this one's won 2 out of it.
Yeah.
It won its last 2, 1 easy, and it's got J-Mac aboard and Mar Eustace training it. I'd expect it to run well.
Yeah, I agree. 1,400 metres, benchmark 88 is up next. This field, Beaver, what'd you find?
Oh, this was a bloody difficult race here. I kind of went looking for something here, and then I ended up going back with Diamil again with J-Mac on board. Look, I think it's ready to run well first up. Doesn't generally produce its best form first up.
Yeah, I didn't know what to make of the trials. It was the first horse I went looking for, and I didn't know what to make of it.
Yeah, look, I just go back to its form when last in work. It won a listed race up at Eagle Farm and won extremely well. I'm pretty sure that wasn't tested in those trials. It only finished a length off Expat last trial, so it was a little bit better in that. I think it's drawn well, and this isn't a tough race.
No. I've got Fine Point on tap. I assume it'll get scratched, so I don't know what that'll mean. So the two I went looking for, Arctic Thunder was nearly fell last time again. Would have been a finish there and is a chance. And the one I went looking for was Seaback. Similar to you with Diamil, lightly raced import, first up, second prep. Trials have been okay, and for a winnable race, I think it can take some good progression here from the Queensland winter and run well. As I said, I did go looking for Diamil, and it'll probably run well, but I just couldn't get super enthused about it at the current prices. Assuming Fine Point's not here, yeah, I'll have something around each way, the 8 and the 9. Race 6, the Heritage Stakes for the 3-year-olds, where I have gone with the obvious here in Best of Bordeaux. Gets control. Was only nabbed late by In Secret. J-Mac, again, to sound like a broken record, will roll forward and lead and be hard to beat. Scared of Semillion, who is a Hawks horse coming to perhaps a grand final, third up, and did win third up last prep, and has come back off open age, which they've used as a recipe for success in the past. I thought it would be longer, but should it drift, I'll have something on it. And I went looking for some of the lightly raced stuff. Wanted to find something like a spicy hot porter or something like that, but I couldn't. So by default, favourite on top from Semillon.
Yeah, I was a bit the same. By default, I had Best of Bordeaux on top. I was disappointed first up, and it was definitely a much better run last start. There's no doubt about that. It carries a little bit of extra weight here, but I just couldn't really find anything that was going to beat it. J-Max on board here, which obviously helps Gate 5. So I think, really it's a clear on top pick because of that. I thought something like Economics could run well, resuming. Showed a bit of a potential in its first two runs around the $10 mark, maybe one for the exotics.
Race 7 is the Mares Group 2, 1,400 metre Golden Pendant. What have you done with this big clump of turn takers?
Yeah, it's a bit like that, isn't it? Look, I worked through this and I come up with Star Tontes. I thought at $7, I think it's a really good value in this race. It's got some really nice form last preparation, and I liked the first up run. Got back in the field and from 11th on the turn and finished just a couple of lengths off Shades of a Rose. Again, if you go back and watch that.
That was on the hot rail as well.
It was on the hot rails, but it finished off quite nicely down the middle there. So I thought that was an impressive run. So I think it can run really well here second up. So it on top, and then, there's plenty of chances, as you said, outside of that, a couple long in the market. You couldn't leave something like Meg out. It just bloody keeps winning at a long price.
I don't know why it's 20. I know it's $23 because the two I found had no jockey, which confused me. One was Meg, who's flying, a mare in form and has beaten most of these twice, some of this field, and Palasipan, who's probably underrated. I thought it was a really good run last time behind Shades of Rose, beat home Espiona. And then after I did it all, I actually went back and watched Star Tonte's run, and I thought that was a better run than Espiona. Came from behind and would have beaten at home another stride or two, and should get a track that suits much better.
And Espiona's Gate 14, Star Tonte's 8.
Yeah, so it should, by all rights, be in front of it this time. Jamee's going well. Electric Girl, I liked first up there, and Rel's second up. Like I said, they'll take turns. Just waiting for jockeys, but I will have something on the likes of Meg, Palasipan, who lost Nash, and Raduna can run well here if things suit. And then after all of that, I thought maybe I'm overthinking this, and maybe I should just look at Nimley, who was sat outside lead to Zaki, and only finished 2 lengths off it. So,
what are you tipping?
The answer's a pineapple. The two at 20s. The two bets I'll have predominantly will be Meg and Palasipan, and 1 and 2 are the others that scare me. Don't know what I'm going to do with the quaddie. I'll make that up when I get there. I don't know what I tipped then. Can you tell me?
The two at 20s.
Yeah, do that. We'll go with that. Meg and Palasipan at a price. The Golden Rose. I've got a bit better clarity here. 1,400 metres, Group 1 for the 3-year-olds. Won in the past by some good horses. I did write them down, so whatever. I do think this is a good race for blue colours, though. I think there's 2 chances. And I think they'll run 1-2, In Secret and Golden Mile. I've got Golden Mile on top, purely for the price and purely because I think that last race it came through was slightly weaker, but it did brain him. And hopefully these 2 break away and run away for Godolphin a bit like Epaulet and Albrecht did 10 years ago in this race. And Quinella it for me. I thought the next best was Fast Witness, who's 20s. The rest of these, I was happy to pen. She's Extreme was the other one that'll go in the quaddie because it was off the rails and made some nice ground in the wet there on that rails day. I didn't like Jack and O's trial. Came to Sydney and ran last in a trial. Didn't look like it liked that leg at all, but obviously could take improvement from that, having had the practice. What do you make of this?
Yeah, same as you. I had the 2 blue colours on top. They look the standout selections here, In Secret and Golden Mile. Thought they'd be a little bit closer together in the market.
Well, I was surprised as well.
I thought you might have got, $3, $3.20 and $4.50-ish, $4 to $4.50.
Don't complain, though. Just back Golden Mile.
I'm not complaining. Yeah. I just like In Secret better, which is why I'm complaining.
Okay. You're saying the other way. Gotcha.
Yeah, I've got In Secret on top. Over Golden Mile, but I thought they'd be a little bit. I think you will. I think they should have been a little bit closer on top. Purely, the reason for that is jockey, gate, weight.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got the advantage there with in all 3 criterias, which just put it on top for me. If the other thing beats it, then it beats it on its own merits, and it's just a better horse. So In Secret on top for me, over the top of Golden Mile, and I couldn't really find much else. So I thought Fireburn was pretty. It
was just okay.
I
think now
I'm not surprised, but I did tip it.
The 3-year-old stuff's better than last year's 2-year-old stuff.
I did tip it, but when there was no money in the market and a blue in the market, I knew it was no chance then. I'm just wondering what they are aiming it for, because I would have thought it would have been something like this.
Well, it went from, remember last year it was going to be a Cox Plate, it was going to be this and that, so I don't know if they know.
I don't know if it's, let's see.
I wouldn't fall over shocked if it won.
No, I wouldn't fall over shocked if it won, but I may have a little small bet saver on it just to get my money back, so I'm not kicking and screaming if it wins. But Gate 15 didn't do enough in the first run for me to like it, and yeah.
Yeah, it's been good to me, so if it gets $10, I might have something there as well. The Shannon Stakes, Group 2, 1,500 metres. This was where I spat the dummy at first, and then I came back to it and went for 2 at a price. So Matt Popper ran 3rd in a $4 million race last start. Has trialled fantastic both times in. Beat home Zethus in a trial, and then trialled behind, I think it was Marzu. Yeah, and then Chase Marzu in a trial very well. Should roll forward here. It's about to be last, and I don't quite agree with that. According to Racing New South Wales,
it's gonna be
last. I thought it might not matter. It's 30 to 1. It's a wet tracker, and it will run very well here, I think, at the
targeting
price.
Bigger things. Probably, but wouldn't they be taking something like Caulfield Cup for this? Or
so it should run well here. I'm not saying to win, but at 30s, I'm going to have happy to back it at $5 a place, because the rest of these are awful, and I hate them all. Pinarello is the other one I'm going to is the Derby winner is the other one I might spec, who has trialled okay in New Zealand. I know, again, looking for further. Yeah, I know probably heading to a Caulfield Cup as well, but can plug home for a place here at 30 to 1, because I just hate all of these horses. Good luck to all the connections. Yeah, I'm probably going to tip Ellsberg and be boring. So
yeah, I am going to be boring, purely because when Ellsberg can jump to the front and control races, it wins.
Yeah, Tim Clark's a lead there, isn't it?
And this is just going to lead here. Last start, it wasn't a bad run. It finished 6th, but it was 4th. It didn't lead. It had too much pressure, and the swoopers got hold of him. It was only a length off him. In this 1,500 metre race, I don't think anyone's going to have the speed to go with Ellsberg. It's going to jump 1, go to the front, no pressure. and they're all stayers that are going to be plugging and aren't going to be able to sprint quick enough when it gets let down. So I just don't see what's going to beat it. That's purely, as you said, you hate them all. So Ellsberg got some ability here. Looks good to me.
So my point is more so when there's that clump of stayers chasing Ellsberg, who's the best stayer that's going to plug home for second?
Yeah.
Mount Popper at $6.
Could do.
The last benchmark 78, 1,100 metres. What have you done here?
Yeah, I tipped Kips Bay last start, and I'm going to stick with it. I tipped Fire too, and I'm done with it. The last two.
Yeah, right.
Just too
We're
disappointing.
very bitter this afternoon.
Yeah, I was bitter with that one. I like this horse. I think it's got plenty of ability, and I think
Did smack him.
Did smack him. I thought it smacked him first up, and I was surprised I got the price I did the second up. And look, soft track it likes. Track and distance is good. It's on the improve. Beat some okay horses last start. Loved the way it swept around him. Just won. I think it's got a bit of ability, so I've got it on top. And yeah, it's an open race. There's plenty of chances here. Thought Starman could run well with J Mac aboard as well. Resuming goes well. And that was about all I could find. I was just going to leave Fire out because I thought...
If Fire goes straight and wins that race by half a length, where do you tip it?
Yeah.
It drifted off it. Like if it had have won, we'd probably both be keen.
Yeah, probably. But
I'm not keen. I'm just saying it's a funny thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a bit of a funny thing here, I guess. But it's probably not too bad at $4. A bad bet, right? Because last start you're taking odds on, but it's up a bit more in weight here. It was Monte Ditto that beat it. Like seriously,
I understand all that.
I reckon you could beat it. It was a benchmark 78, and then Chain of Lightning took care of it pretty comfortably at the start before that. Good at Sandown, won a midweek. So yeah, it's racing other midweekers here. Probably a reasonable price, but I'm going to go Kips Bay.
Hit nail ahead racing other midweekers here, so I am looking for the two best horses, which is probably Authentic Jewel, who's coming off a freshen up here. He's going to lob in right behind the pace, and is the actual Saturday horse here. Gets a nice run, and you get 20 to 1 tomorrow. It's $18 at the moment. And Ebha, just forget about the 900 metre run up at Newcastle. That's weird stuff up there at 900 metres. You don't have to worry about it. Go back to its win before, was brave, ran down the Sturdum here, and it's 20 to 1 as well. So I'm going to have something on both of them.
You don't think it should have won the 900 at Newcastle?
Of course it should have, but Britain won a 900 at Newcastle. Like it's weird land. It looked like it won a 1200 in that race.
But Britain hasn't won since.
That's my point. It doesn't count. It's just like a barrier trial.
So horses that don't win there
just forget it went there. Forget it went there.
I was disappointed with this run at Newcastle, and that's why I didn't.
Fair enough. At 20s, I'm having to give it one more go.
Yeah, all right.
Because again, like you said, it's a midweek race, and its win before that was good. So they're the two from me. You made the case for Kips Bay. It's absolutely flying and might win this race well, and that's about it. And Stadium was the one that Ebha ran down. Tri-State to run. It's a tricky race, but again, I'm going to play outside the market and perhaps wear egg on my face afterwards. I suppose I better do a quaddie after all that. Let's have a look. First leg is the Golden Pendant. 1 Nimali, 2 Star Tontes, 3 Jamia, 6 Palacipan, 11 Meg, and what was the other one I said? 16 Raduna. I'm umming and ahhing about Electric Girl, but I'll leave it out for now. I'm going to go the two blue colours, Golden Mile, number 7, and 16 In Secret in the Golden Rose. I will throw in Fast Witness for some value, number 11. Third leg, 1 Mount Popper, 2 Ellsberg, 4 Pinarello, 11 Old Flame, and we'll come home with 1 Tri-State, 4 Fire, 6 Authentic Jewel, 8 Kips Bay, 16 Ebha. Get a nice couple of splits there. That should pay pretty good.
Yeah, I like it.
So let's run with that. For progretracing.com.au, give us your best and value at Rosehill.
Yeah, my best is race 4, number 1, Cadre de Noir, $2.15. Get on now. You won't get that on Saturday. And my value bet is, where'd it go? Race 7, number 2, Star Tontes.
Lovely.
About the $7, hopefully $8 mark.
Cadre's my best. I agree. It probably jumps $1.60 by the time we get there, but especially if there's a scratching or two. But there's no pace here. And the value, I'm going to stick solid. Mount Popper, race 9, number 1 as my value. Have you looked at Mornington yet? I haven't. But before I get to Queensland, anything there?
No, I haven't looked at that.
No, that's fine.
All. And it's Toowoomba.
Toowoomba. Have you looked up there?
Is the meeting? Yeah, I did have a quick look up there. Interesting race day. I've gone race 2, number 5, Uncle Russ. Been winning a few races and going well, so I've got it on top. Generally favours those on pace. Race 5, number 9, Gold Deal. Should run well. And then my other tip up there was race 6, number 11, Rubamos. They were my 3 tips up at Toowoomba.
Very good. Good job, Beaver. Good to see you. Enjoy the weekend. Fat weekend ahead of laying in the lounge. Doing not very much, so I'm excited for that.
I'm good at that.
Yeah, good job. Keep it up. And we'll see everyone next. Subscribe to mailing lists. Check out Pro Get Racing. Subscribe to YouTube if you've made it 42 minutes into this show. And we'll see everyone Wednesday morning for our midweek preview before we get to Epsom Day next weekend, which is one of my favourite race cards of the year. So we're going to do a runner-by-runner preview of the Epsom, just to dump it on you now, as well as the full card there. And then we get into the spring features, which is always exciting.
Perfect. Do me homework.
Good punting, guys, and we'll talk soon.